Everyone can take their seats. We're about to get started with today's ceremony. So, welcome today, and thank you for joining us today in our special celebration of the winners of the 41st Annual Virginia Hart Award and the 25th Annual Diversity Awards. I'm Jen Flogel, the administrator for the Division of Personnel Management within the Department of Administration, and it is exciting to see so many of you with us today. I would especially like to thank Governor Evers and the First Lady for being with us here today. And I would also like to thank the State Council on Affirmative Action for sponsoring these awards, as well as the Governor's Advisory Council on Equity and Inclusion for their support today. Additionally, I would like to welcome Cabinet Secretaries, University Chancellors, today's speakers, state employees, and award winners, family and friends to our ceremony. And to all of you watching our live stream, thank you for joining us. Most importantly, to our winners and nominees, congratulations. We're so excited to celebrate with you today, and I'm glad that many of your friends and family and colleagues are able to celebrate with you as well. Earlier this year, Governor Evers declared 2024 the Year of the Worker. So our theme today is Year of the Worker, Moving Forward Together. As the state's Chief Human Resources Officer, this year's focus on workers is invigorating. Our state employees are the backbone of delivering services to people all across Wisconsin. They make a difference for our communities each and every day, and they deserve to be commended. Ensuring we create a workforce where everyone belongs is foundational to the quality of services that we deliver. Today, we take a pause from our day-to-day work to celebrate our progress in our journey forward toward a workforce that reflects the diversity of our state's population and a work environment that promotes equity, inclusion, and belonging. We celebrate the workers, programs, and state employees that have demonstrated this commitment with meaningful progress, making a difference in meeting the challenges of advancing equity, inclusion, and diversity. We have set plans for equity and inclusion, and we are working those plans. Each plan is unique, grounded in the diversity of our employees, who each bring their unique perspectives and experiences together to achieve the vital missions of each state employer. We strive to meet our workers and those they serve where they are at, to ensure our programs and services achieve their goals. Ensuring our workers are heard, supported, and included leads to stronger employee engagement, as well as better decisions and outcomes, which ultimately benefits everyone in Wisconsin. Each day, our employees show up to work, and when they start their work days, the value that they bring to their jobs and the workforce is more than just their skills and experiences. Workers also bring ideas of how to make things better, passions for how to better engage with their colleagues, and input on how our programs can make the biggest difference in the lives of those that they serve. It's on us to tap into all that our employees bring to the workforce. When we seek out and include the diverse voices that make up our culture and our solutions, they will make them more robust, and we will all win. When our employees feel comfortable and confident to be themselves, they speak up and bring new ideas and ways of approaching challenges that help us improve. And they add the full value that they have the potential to deliver, and they in turn feel valued. And those contributions ultimately make our organizations and the people that they serve better. Today, we recognize teams and individual workers who do vitally important and truly challenging work in the service to the people of Wisconsin, particularly as it relates to advancing equity and inclusion. This event is more than just a ceremony. because each of these awards is a strong validation of the nominees and the winners, as well as everyone who learns about their contributions and the character of our winners. When we recognize these successes, we bring attention to the workers that are moving us forward together and the ways that they are making that progress happen. It can be hard to drive change, to push through barriers, to do what is right, to make a sustainable impact, and to promote a diverse and inclusive workforce. But these teams and individuals are committed and have done just that. And they have done it in truly impressive ways. Not only do our award winners and nominees have passion and commitment to service, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, they put their passion into sustainable action in a way that others have noticed. Those who were nominated for these awards never set out to do this impactful work with the goal of seeking recognition, which only adds to the importance of our sincere gratitude. In addition to recognizing and celebrating our winners, I encourage all of us to make the most of this opportunity to learn and find ways to apply their successes after today's ceremony on a grander scale. When we magnify the ultimate impact of each of our winners, we honor them on an even deeper level. All of us are a part of this journey to create a more equitable and inclusive Wisconsin, and I thank you for joining us in today's celebration of progress and accomplishments. And now, I am so proud to open our ceremony by introducing our Governor, Tony Evers, who will provide some remarks.
Thanks, Jen, so much, and good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm honored to be here today to share our congratulations with the outstanding individuals being recognized today for their efforts to make our state government a more connected, a more inclusive, and a more equitable space for all. These folks are actually some of our heroes in the Wisconsin state government. And they give us the opportunity to reaffirm our work to build a more welcoming, a more just, and a more equitable state for all those who call Wisconsin home, and building a workforce that reflects the people who we are. Folks, despite those who might disagree with this important work, I'm incredibly proud that we will continue our efforts to recruit, support, and retain a diverse and inclusive workforce. Since day one, my administration has been committed to developing policies to ensure that all people are respected and treated fairly in the workplace. In fact, the very first executive order I issued, Executive Order number 1, prohibited discrimination and harassment in the workplace. And the second executive order I signed established my commitment and my cabinet's commitment to making sure state employees are respected, appreciated, and valued as all employees should be. And you all know this. Diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. This event and this year's awardees show just how committed Wisconsin public servants are to the people of our great state. Programs like Diversity Awards and Virginia Hart Award spotlight programs and civil servants whose accomplishments and passions should be a model for those that are looking for outstanding leadership. And it is the volunteer work of the councils, the State Council on Affirmative Action and the Advisory Council on Equity and Inclusion, that helps support and recognize this important work. There's power in knowing that we can continue to make a difference and serve as a beacon of hope for those around us, especially in these days. With leaders like all of you at the helm, I know that the future of our state is in good hands. Each of you should be deeply proud of what you contribute as leaders to the state of Wisconsin. So thank you, and now it's my pleasure to welcome the Chair of the State Council on Affirmative Action, Angela Nash, to say a few words. Angela, it's all yours.
Thank you, Governor Evers, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 SCAA Diversity Awards and Virginia Hearts Recognition Ceremony. It is truly an honor to gather with all of you this morning as we celebrate the remarkable contributions individuals and agencies have made to promote equity, inclusion, and diversity across our great state. The State Council on Affirmative Action was created in Wisconsin statute in 1977 with the charge of overseeing and advising the state's workforce efforts in affirmative action. The council created the Diversity Award Program in 2000 to honor those working in harmony across the state's diversity goals. Over the years, the Diversity Awards have been a way the council has sought to recognize those outstanding efforts by state departments, universities, and employees in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. In 2019, the council introduced individual awards to honor specific employees doing the same. Also in 2019, the council was charged with duties to assist agencies in the creation of their own equity and inclusion plans as directed by Executive Order 59. It has been my honor to support this awards program for the past 6 years through my work initially alongside Larice in the Bureau of Equity and Inclusion and continuing now in the Office of the Attorney General at the Department of Justice. I have had the pleasure of personally witnessing the incredible initiatives and accomplishments of our civil servants. This year's theme, the Year of the Worker, Moving Forward Together, resonates very deeply with me. It reminds us that the strength of any organization, community, or society lies not in any one individual, but in the collective efforts of all of its workers. Every worker brings something unique to the table, from their experience, ideas, and talents to their perspectives and cultural backgrounds. It is through this diversity that we are empowered to create innovative solutions, overcome challenges, and thrive in an ever-changing world. 2024 marks a pivotal time when the contributions of workers are more recognized and valued than ever before. This year, we not only celebrate the extraordinary dedication and resilience of workers across every industry, but we also acknowledge the pressing need to continue striving for equity and inclusion in all aspects of work. The global challenges of the past few years have shown us that it is through collective strength, through solidarity, that we overcome adversity and build better and a more just future. So today we celebrate our outstanding achievements of individuals and teams who have gone above and beyond to create inclusive environments, foster collaboration, and champion the rights and dignity of all workers. Their hard work and dedication inspires us all to do more and to do better. We recognize that these efforts are not just about creating a more diverse and inclusive workforce, but about building workplaces where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. As we look ahead, let's commit ourselves to working together, moving forward with a shared vision of progress. Let's continue to champion the rights of workers, promote fair opportunities for all, and ensure that diversity is not only acknowledged, but celebrated as the driving force behind success. In this Year of the Worker, we are reminded that we cannot move forward unless we move together. Together, we must continue to champion principles of equity and inclusion at every level, whether we are breaking down barriers, promoting accessibility, or ensuring that all voices are heard and valued. We have an opportunity. We also have a responsibility to ensure that no one is left behind. Thank you. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker today. Javier Acevedo Baez is a leader, an entrepreneur, and a passionate advocate for equity and inclusion. He currently serves as the Chief Development Officer and Managing Director of Operations for the Wisconsin Latino Chamber of Commerce. He is a member of the Governor's Equity and Inclusion Advisory Council and recently named the 2024 UMOS Hispanic Man of the Year. With over 20 years of experience, Javier has devoted his career to uplifting underrepresented communities in Wisconsin, Puerto Rico, and beyond. His steadfast commitment to social justice and community empowerment is evident in every initiative he undertakes. Please give a warm welcome to Javier Acevedo Baez.
Good morning, everyone. What a bio. Did I write that? How's everyone doing? Good? Good morning to all of our distinguished guests today, Governor Tony Evers and the First Lady, Department Administration Secretary Kathy Blumenfield, Attorney General Josh Call, good friends that I see in the room as well, Ben Poehler, I see you. I have to recognize you, years of hard work together. And welcome to all of you, state officials and fellow Wisconsinites. I'm deeply honored to stand before you here today as we celebrate diversity and recognize the outstanding contributions of our state's workers. As we gather in this historic legislative assembly room, we're not just acknowledging the past achievements, but also looking forward to a future where every worker in Wisconsin has the opportunity to thrive. Today's event theme, Year of the Worker, moving forward together, resonates with me deeply, both personally and professionally. I'll tell you why. Like many of yours, my story is one of resilience and transformation. Born in Puerto Rico, I spent my early years bouncing between Puerto Rico, the island, and Milwaukee. The experience of straddling two cultures shaped my worldview and instilled a deep appreciation for diversity. Growing up in Milwaukee in the 1980s and 1990s, presented its own set of challenges. As the middle child in a family of 8 siblings, 8 siblings, 7, not just that, 7 brothers and 1 sister. Raised by a single mom, I learned the value of responsibility and hard work at a very young age. Without a father figure and lacking proper educational support, I found myself stepping up to cook and care for my siblings at a very young age in an effort to support my family even more. The Milwaukee of my youth was one that was often referred to as a segregated city, and still is, depending on where you look and who you talk to. Milwaukee is still considered one of the most segregated cities in the nation. At that time, gang activity was at an all-time high, and I found myself frequently fighting or in fight or flight mode, navigating a landscape that could be unforgiving to young people of color. Despite these challenges, or perhaps because of them, I discovered my passion for helping and motivating others. This drive for community service and nonprofit work stemmed from my experiences and the realization that many others face similar struggles just like mine. At the age of 16, I decided to return to Puerto Rico, a high school dropout. It was a pivotal moment at that time that allowed me to reevaluate my life and my life calling. Away from the familiar streets of Milwaukee, I found myself reflecting on my own personal identity, my values, and my own aspirations. It was during this time that I solidified my own commitment to community service and nonprofit work that now stretches over 20 years. One thing that has remained constant throughout my journey, and anyone can tell you this, is my smile. No matter what, and right now I'm struggling with a little bit of back pain, but still, smile on my face. Those who know me will tell you that no matter what I'm going through personally, I approach every task and every interaction with a smile on my face. This positivity has been a driving force in my ability to connect with others and motivate others and serve even more the most vulnerable communities in our great state. My commitment to serving others has manifested in various ways throughout my entire career. One of the most impactful roles that I've held was with the UMO Satina Resource Center, where I worked with survivors of human trafficking. As a part of the Wisconsin Regional Anti-Human Trafficking Program, I not only supported survivors, but I was also instrumental in partnering with law enforcement, local, state, and federal law enforcement, working to create a more comprehensive and compassionate response to this critical issue in our state. As we look at Wisconsin today, we see a state in transition. Our workforce is becoming increasingly diverse, reflecting the changing demographics of our nation. This diversity is not just about ethnicity or national origin, but also age, skills, and perspectives. In 2024, Governor Evers declared it the Year of the Worker, recognizing the critical role that every individual plays in our state's success. This declaration comes at a time where Wisconsin is experiencing record low unemployment rates and a surge in workforce participation. However, we still face challenges, including a looming childcare crisis and the need for expanded paid family leave. As leaders, it is our responsibility to not just adapt to these changes, but to actively shape them. We must create environments where workers feel valued, they feel heard, and empowered to contribute their own unique talents. This is especially crucial for those who, like me, may have grown up without a solid support system and faced significant barriers to success. In my work with nonprofit organizations, I've seen the transformative power of inclusive leadership. When we embrace diversity and foster equity, we unlock the full potential of our workforce. This isn't just a moral imperative, but it's a business necessity in today's global economy. Businesses that take equity and inclusion seriously are not just doing the right thing, they're positioning themselves for success. Diverse teams bring diverse perspectives, leading to more innovative solutions and better decision-making. Inclusive workplaces attract top talent and foster employee loyalty, reducing turnover rates and increasing productivity. More so, as our state becomes more diverse, businesses that reflect this diversity in their workforce and leadership are better equipped to understand and serve their consumers. This is particularly crucial in Wisconsin, where our Latino population, including many Puerto Ricans like myself, have been growing steadily. And as we celebrate the Year of the Worker, let's commit to moving forward. And this means investing in education and training programs that prepare our workforce for the jobs of tomorrow, supporting policies that make it easier for all Wisconsinites to participate in the workforce, including affordable child care and paid family leave, fostering inclusive workshops where every individual feels valued and empowered to contribute their absolute best, celebrating the diversity that makes our state strong and using it as a catalyst for innovation and growth. In closing, I want to absolutely thank you all for your commitment to Wisconsin, to making Wisconsin a place where every worker can absolutely thrive. The awards we present today are not just a recognition of past achievements, but a call to action for the future as well. Let's continue to lead by example, to champion diversity and inclusion in our workplace and communities. And I know for a fact that together we can truly build a Wisconsin where every worker has the opportunity to succeed, where our differences are celebrated as strengths, and where we move forward as a united community. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for being here, and congratulations to all of today's honorees. Thank you.
Can we give them another round of applause? That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Javier, for those inspiring words of courage and change. It's my honor to introduce Secretary Kathy Bloomingdale, Secretary of the Department of Administration, who will present the winner of the Virginia Hart Recognition Award.
Thank you, Larice. And before we recognize this year's winner, I'd like to take a moment just to share some background on the Virginia Hart Award and the legacy of the namesake of this annual recognition. Virginia Hart was Wisconsin's first woman cabinet member. So I feel today as I am standing on her shoulders. She served as Secretary of the Department of Regulation and Licensing. She chaired the Department of Industry, Labor, and Human Relations, and also was the chair of the Labor and Industry Review Commission. The purpose behind the award named in her honor is to recognize the unsung heroines in state service, thereby providing encouragement and recognition to all women in state government. The award recognizes women in state service who demonstrate sustained and extraordinary achievement, receive esteem from their peers and their clients, serve their communities, and are focused on self-improvement and overcoming challenges. It is now my honor to formally recognize the 2024 Virginia Hart winner, Tricia Jo Kilpin, with the Department of Justice. As the Executive Director of the Office of School Safety, Tricia has dedicated over 3 decades to ensuring safety and the well-being of Wisconsin's youth. Formerly a celebrated school social worker and Wisconsin State Teacher of the Year, Trish leads with compassion, collaboration, and an unwavering commitment to school safety. Her role extends beyond expectations, working tirelessly to secure funding for the Office of School Safety, supporting trauma response in schools, and develop critical training resources. Her leadership, resilience, and passion make her an invaluable advocate for safe and supportive school environments across Wisconsin. So at this point, please welcome Attorney General Josh Kaul and our award winner, Tricia Jo Kilpin, to the stage.
First, thank you for those kind remarks, Secretary Blumenfeld, and thank you to everybody who's here. Trish Kilpin has set it as her personal mission to keep every student in the state of Wisconsin safe. And I say that, and it sounds daunting and perhaps unachievable, but I can tell you that Trish every day goes to work with that goal in mind. She brings to that work incredible experience, having spent more than 3 decades helping to keep students safe in our schools. She brings a passion to make progress every day. But more than that, she is committed to making it everybody else's mission as well. And I'll give you one brief story that highlights this. We recently have been meeting with students from around the state, high school students, to talk to them about what safety concerns they have, what they're seeing in their classrooms. And as somebody who went to public schools in Wisconsin and still thinks of himself as fairly young, it was pretty striking. It was pretty striking to hear what a different perspective students going to our schools today have from the one that I had going to schools in Wisconsin. I went into schools where the doors were often open, where we had many points of entry, and where the absolute last thing on our mind would have been the safety of our schools. Today that's changed. We heard from students in schools throughout the state about how often they think about school safety. It's not once a year, it's not once a month. For almost all of them, it's at least once a week, and for many, it's every single day. So what Trish has done is elevated the voices of our students, the voices of our teachers, and the voices of all of those who want to make our schools safer, and brought them to everybody who will listen, from the Attorney General's office, to the governor's office, to the legislature, and is committed to making sure that the work that she is doing lives on well past the time that any of us are serving in state service, but will continue on really for generations to come to ensure that our students have what they deserve, a sense of safety and an ability to focus on what they should be focusing on, their studies, and not staying safe. So she is an inspiration to me, to our colleagues, and I think to people around the state, and I cannot think of a more deserving winner for this award. So Trish, congratulations.
Well, thank you both, Josh and Secretary Blumenfeld, for that very generous introduction. I am honored to stand here today as the recipient of the Virginia Hart Award. I'm grateful to the selection committee, and I'm grateful to my family and friends and colleagues, many of whom are here today, who have been supporting me ongoing in this work. And I'm grateful to Virginia Hart for inspiring generations of women in state government. As we know, public service is a calling that comes with a responsibility to serve others with dignity, with integrity and compassion. I am so grateful to have landed at an agency that shares that sense of purpose, striving each day to positively impact Wisconsinites. This award is a reflection of the Department of Justice and of the agency as a whole. My partnerships with the other offices and divisions, as well as other state agencies, some of them here today, has certainly enriched the experience that I've had and the ability to bring effective practices and programs to our schools in Wisconsin. At the heart of public service is the impact that we have on others, and I have to tell you that it is that sense of purpose that motivates me each day. You have heard that I worked in the schools for a very long time. I was a school social worker, passionate about macro level change and work. And I really strove to empower collectively the school staff and community to meet the needs of youth. Being able to serve in this role, it has been a phenomenal experience to amplify that to schools across the state, public, private, and tribal. I'm incredibly grateful to our Attorney General, Josh Call, for appointing me to this role. As I work to try to prevent violence in our schools, to protect our students, to mitigate the impact of crisis events that do occur, and to provide right-sized interventions that get kids back to learning more quickly and stabilize the school if there is a crisis event. Having the opportunity to do this on a state level is truly an honor. As I reflect on my time in the office and the status of school safety in general, I do feel compelled to amplify one message, that it is critical that we have a sense of urgency in prioritizing school safety. We have to build a coalition across the state committed to these best practices that we know work to save our youth from the trauma that they can experience at their schools, and to have a sense of accountability to these model practices and programs. Brain science tells us that kids cannot learn if they're feeling scared and anxious. Teachers deserve to use their talents to educate our youth and nurture them, and every parent deserves to have their child go to school each day with a full understanding that they will come home safely at the end of that day. As I humbly accept this award, I will commit to you that I will continue to serve and to learn and to prioritize school safety for all schools across Wisconsin. I am humbled by this award, and I am grateful, so thank you.
Thank you, Attorney General Josh Call and Tricia Jo Kilpin. So excited for you to receive this award today. And at this point, a huge thank you to Governor Evers and First Lady Evers for your continued support of this very important work and for your ongoing commitment to a diverse and inclusive workforce for the state of Wisconsin. I know you have to leave a little bit early today, so thank you for joining us, and we're so happy that you could be here in person to congratulate our winner. Thank you. Now it is truly my pleasure to welcome Gabby Aranda, who will introduce the Virginia Hart Honorable Mention Award recipient. Originally, Jen Cole of the Wisconsin Women's Council was going to do this section. She was not able to be here today, so huge thank you to Gabby for jumping in on short notice. Gabby Aranda serves on the Wisconsin Women's Council. Governor Evers appointed her to the council in July of 2023, and she is dedicated to advancing gender equity and addressing inequities and barriers that women and girls face throughout the state of Wisconsin. Gabby, who is deeply committed to women's health issues, is the Sexual and Reproductive Health Supervisor for Public Health Madison and Dane County. The 15-member Wisconsin Women's Council, appointed by the governor and legislative leadership, is the state's statutory commission on the status of women and girls in Wisconsin. It is the Women's Council's mission to enhance the ability of all Wisconsin women to fully and equally participate in all aspects of life. The council does this by promoting initiatives that empower women, serving as a clearinghouse for information on the status of women in our state, conducting independent research, and promoting unique partnerships to further women's economic and social equality and improve the state's tax base and economy. The Women's Council has been a supporter of the Virginia Hart Awards since its inception and is proud to be lifting up women in state service. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Gabby Aranda.
Thank you, Secretary Blumenfeld, and congratulations, Tricia Kilpin, on receiving this year's Virginia Hart Award. This long-standing award is so important to recognizing women leaders in state service. And in just a moment, I have the privilege of speaking about the woman who is receiving an honorable mention as part of the 2024 Virginia Hart Award. But first, I very much appreciate the opportunity to speak about the work of the Wisconsin Women's Council over the past year. The theme of today's award ceremony, Year of the Worker, Moving Forward Together, is very apropos for the efforts of the Council in 2024. Because Governor Evers declared this year the Year of the Worker, the Women's Council focused much of its efforts to understanding the status of women and work in Wisconsin. During the pandemic, women left the workforce in higher numbers than men, and though women's workforce rates have basically recovered, women's return to the workforce was slower. We know that working women still disproportionately bear the primary responsibilities for family, caregiving needs, and family life decisions. We also know that women dominate certain fields, often for lower wages, such as childcare, education, and healthcare. So to better understand the many issues related to attracting, engaging, and retaining women in Wisconsin's workforce, the Council had the opportunity to hear from experts from the Department of Children and Families, the U.S. Department of Labor Women's Bureau, the Department of Public Instruction, the UW system, and UW Health, UW-Madison School of Medicine and Public Health about such topics as the accessibility and affordability of childcare, the status of the childcare industry and its workforce, gender pay equity, paid leave for caregiving, ending discrimination and harassment in the workplace, and the status of women working in women-dominated fields like education and healthcare, and engaging women in non-traditional fields to diversify our workforce. The Women's Council held webinars about women's financial security, particularly focused on women's economic security in retirement. The Council also hosted panels and roundtables around the state to discuss women working in a variety of sectors, like agricultural industries and farming, and the trades, unions, and training and apprenticeships. We even had the opportunity to hear from DPM about the variety of ways that the state of Wisconsin provides programs and supports for its employees to be successful in their work while meeting life and family responsibilities. The Women's Council learned many things about women and work this past year, but one of the things that stands out is that across all sectors, women work hard in Wisconsin. Wisconsin women work hard for their employers, themselves, and their families. Women are a driving force in our economy, our families, and our state. The women we honor with the Virginia Hart Awards are no exception. In fact, they lead by example in working hard for Wisconsin. That is why it is such a privilege to be part of celebrating and honoring a couple of those dedicated, hardworking women through the Virginia Hart Award this year, recognizing the unique contributions women make in state government. So thank you for including the Women's Council in this year's award ceremony and lifting up the hard work of women in state service. And as we move our work forward together, building equity and diversity in state government, we must applaud the efforts of women today and into the future. It is an honor to introduce this year's Virginia Hart Award honorable mention, Janet Kazmierczak, RN. Janet has been a cornerstone of public health in Wisconsin as a Northeast Regional Nurse Consultant for the Department of Health Services. With over a decade of dedicated service, Janet has provided invaluable guidance, fostering resilience and innovation in local health departments, especially in rural areas. Known for her empathy, approachability, and commitment to health equity, Janet has displayed exceptional support in strategic planning, community health assessments, and coalition building. Congratulations to you, Janet, and thank you for your hard work.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paula Tran. I'm the State Health Officer of Wisconsin, and I am the Administrator of the Division of Public Health, and I have the good pleasure of just saying a few more words about Janet. As a child of immigrants that grew up in Green Bay in the region that Janet serves, it's just a tremendous privilege to be here. And also as a woman of color who serves in a leadership role in public service, what a wonderful honor to be here with all of these powerful women. Thank you. Public health nursing makes up the lifeblood in our field, and Janet truly exemplifies that. For a field that has prided itself on being quite invisible, the last 4 years have been a journey for us. And those like Janet have really risen to the occasion to support our 84 local health departments and our 11 tribal public health agencies to serve their communities in times where they have been forced to be very public about the commitment to the work that we do to advance health equity in all of our communities. Janet has been a force alongside of our local leaders and alongside of our state leaders in such a wonderful way to amplify the great work she has done in her career. So thank you.
Well, first off, I'd like to say congratulations to Tricia. I feel very, as you commented, humbled. I feel very humble standing next to you. So thank you to Governor Evers, our Department of Administration, and the Wisconsin Women's Council for choosing me as honorable mention in this Virginia Hart Award. I'm so appreciative of my 10 years of working at the state in the Department of Health Services and the Division of Public Health. Thank you to our Division of Public Health Administrator and State Health Officer, Paula Tran, our Office of Policy and Practice Alignment Director, Jen Rombalski, and all my colleagues, a few of them here, that support me every day in my work. I have the best job. I not only get to work with other state staff who are passionate about public health, but also our local and tribal health departments across the state. This award is for unsung heroines. I am so excited and actually mind blown that I am being honored as one of them. I'm accepting this honorable mention for all the unsung heroines and heroes of our State Division of Public Health and the local and tribal health departments across the state for the devoted and unseen work, as Paula stated, they do every day to protect and promote Wisconsinites' health and safety so that all can live their best lives. Finally, thank you to my children and my family for being my foundation. Keeping you healthy and safe is the reason my passion for public health shines through. I am retiring at the end of December, and all I can say is, what a way to end my career. So thank you all so much.
Congratulations again to both Tricia and Janet. I would like to welcome back to the podium Secretary Blumenfeld to share a message about the importance of moving forward together.
Thank you, Gabby, and thank you to all our Virginia Hart Award recipients. Let's give them another round of applause. In recognizing these extraordinary individuals today, we're also recognizing their agencies, their mentors, their families, and everyone who got them to this point, including all of you in this room today. We know that success never happens in a vacuum. We are all here in part thanks to the others that contribute to our success, that contribute to our life-changing advice, that one kernel of advice that we receive that is at the perfect moment for us to take and act upon, for others that inspire us to pursue our dreams, and for those that give us examples for us to follow. Every public servant who demonstrates leadership skills like this, who mentors and supports our colleagues around us, has a lasting impact, not just on the workplace, but on our entire state. The collective abilities, skills, and knowledge derived from our individual life experience create a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. Within our sphere of influence, there's a lot of impact to be had. And with a diverse set of ideas in the workplace, we get more creativity, more innovation, and better outcomes for ourselves and for the people that we serve. This is how we see new ideas take flight, new ideas move forward from the status quo, and make a difference, a real difference for the future. In short, by honoring not just our drive for innovation, but also the diversity, inclusion, and leadership that makes innovation possible, the state of Wisconsin is a prime example of how together we make great things happen. As you've heard today, 2024 is the year of the worker. Governor Evers declared that. And as we close out this year and honor the award recipients that have made such a difference in our workforce, we're celebrating the different voices, the different ideas, the different perspectives that are being lifted up today, as well as their extraordinary leadership and service. In celebrating our Diversity Award winners, let us remember the boldness that each winner has to make space to honor this experience and this year's challenge of seeing things differently so that we can all move forward together. At this point, I would like to welcome SCAA Council Member Devon Wilson to present the Diversity Award for Outstanding Leadership. Thank you so much. A lot to carry there. Rich, thank you so much.
Good morning. So that's not a good thing, come up here. All right, thank you. The council created the Outstanding Leadership Award in 2019 to recognize those state employees who emerged as change makers, as movers and shakers at the forefront of the charge to be more equitable and create a diverse workforce. The council received many competitive nominations under this category, another testament to the incredible work being performed throughout the state at any given time. But through all these gleaming nominations, one shined brightest. This year's winner is Gail Johnson of the Department of Health Services. Gail D. Johnson is a distinguished leader and program director of the Wisconsin Well Women program. Gail has dedicated over 30 years to advancing health equity in Wisconsin, providing essential cancer screening services to over 84,000 underinsured women statewide. That's incredible. Known for her compassion and collaborative spirit, Gail has tirelessly advocated for vulnerable populations and fostered an inclusive, supportive work culture to inspire colleagues to serve as models of excellence in public health. Please join me in congratulating Gail Johnson as she makes her way to the stage as this year's Outstanding Leadership Award recipient.
You get me one more time. I have so much pride today to be able to stand up here with two of our distinguished colleagues, and if public health nursing is our lifeblood, the work that our leaders do to make sure that every person in our state has access to the health care they need when they need it is the heartbeat. And that is exactly what folks like Gail do for us in our division, in our state, and nationally. Gail is our inaugural program leader over the last 30 years for this program, and she has been a national leader driving advocacy over and over again and relentlessly at all levels to make sure women get the care that they need. It is such a tremendous pleasure to be standing next to her, and I have so much gratitude for the mentorship that I've received from Ms. Gail over the last 15 years of my career, and thank her from the bottom of my heart for pushing me to be a courageous woman leader.
Thank you so much, Paula, and I'm going to echo the sentiments of my colleague Janet when I say, and I say this all the time, I have one of the best jobs in the world. I am not saying that it is perfect because I'm not perfect and I don't know anything that is. But here's what I will say. One of the things about what I'm able to do is I get to work, first of all, with folks all over our state, yes, all 72 counties, work with all the tribal nations, lots of community-based organizations, everybody. As Paula indicated, I also get the opportunity to work at the national level because in every state in our country, there's one of me, because there's a program like ours in each and every state in the nation. But sometimes, you know, things are a little testy. And I'm a storyteller. I'm gonna tell you a real short story today, not a long one. So one day I was in the office and I'm not gonna lie, I was having a bit of a fit. Yes, I was, okay? But you know, we know how the bureaucracy can be, okay? All right, okay. I was having a little bit of a fit now. I went to my mailbox, and in the mailbox was an envelope. It was a white envelope, but it was wrinkled. It was addressed to the program, to our program, in pencil, okay? Sometimes folks don't even get the name of our program correct. Sometimes we've been called everything. Women's wellness, 3 W's and a P, I mean, all good things. And the mail gets to us, and this was a prime example, okay? So I opened the envelope, and again, inside, really just a short piece of paper, note written again in pencil, but it said, thank you. Thank you for the program. Thank you for what you do. That was all I needed. And so sometimes when things are, you know, not going so well, I think about that. I should also mention, though, that over the years, we've gotten other thank yous, okay? But this one really stood out to me, okay? Let me also say that and I know I could not do the work that I do without our great team, and many of them have retired, you know, since we started, but still great team. Many outstanding program partners. CDC says to us all the time, Wisconsin, we see you have a lot of program partners. I said, yes, we do. because if we didn't, we could not get a lot of this work done. It makes a difference when you can work with community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, our great UW system, providers from all over the state. It makes a great difference. Again, let me thank you for this wonderful award, and like I said, I have one of the best jobs in the world.
Please welcome SCAA Council Member Chris Kilgore to present the Diversity Award for Lifetime of Service.
Good morning. That was okay. Good morning. Can you tell I work in education? Okay. Sorry about that. I had to do that. The Lifetime of Service Award was also created by the Council in 2019 for the purpose of recognizing those long-term employees who have consistently marked their careers with dedication and action in the advancement of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace and in their communities. Winners of this award must have served the state or university system for at least 15 years, and the council received several very strong applications to this category, and it was a challenge to select only one winner. This year, the council is honoring an award winner from the State Public Defender's Office, Gina Pruski. For more than 30 years, Gina has been a champion of diversity, equity, and inclusion through her efforts in implementing training programs that promote cultural competency in the workplace at the Wisconsin State Public Defender's Office. Gina not only developed training for new and current staff, but she led discussions in interactive and immersive experiences pertaining to implicit bias and its effects. Gina's work has reached beyond the state of Wisconsin, as she has conducted various trainings at the national levels on cultural humility, public defender wellness and sustainability, adult learning, difficult conversations, and public defense leadership. Gina recently retired from her position with the State Public Defender's Office. However, her passion for teaching and dedication to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workforce have left an impact that will truly last a lifetime. Please join me in congratulating Gina Pruski. Please come to the stage.
Good morning. I'd like to first congratulate all of the other award recipients who are being honored here today. But I want to really underscore our colleague and training division director who has already retired and whom we already miss very, very much for her innovation, her initiative, and her courage. It is so incredibly difficult, right? We all know this, to talk about implicit bias and race and do that in a public setting. We're a law firm as well as a state agency, so we have clients to serve who represent every form of diversity. So it's extremely important that our staff, our professionals, understand the issues that are presented, and Gina has done a magnificent job in leading us in that way for 30 years. That's been her life's goal, her life's work, and we're so proud of you. Thank you for the leadership and putting us on the right path. God bless you.
Okay, as was mentioned, I retired a few months ago from the Public Defender's Office, and one of the things I was most looking forward to about retirement was not having to put on real clothes and not having to speak in front of a group of people. And here we are. No, this was a really good thing to put on real clothes for. So I want to say, thank you so much for this honor. I'm truly honored, and actually, I'm a little surprised by this award. Fawn Moses, who is here from the SPD, when she told me last summer that she was going to be, that she and my colleagues were going to be submitting a nomination, I was just like very pleasantly surprised. And then when Katie York, who's also here, told me that I had received the award, I was even more surprised. So thank you very much. I must say, though, that all of the things that have been mentioned, all of the things that I had worked on over the last 30 years at the Public Defender's Office, I just played like a little small part. Like every single one of those things was happened because of a very large group of people over the last 3 decades that worked super hard on all of these training programs, all of these initiatives, all of these great things that we did at SPD. I was just one of many, 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 many people. And I contemplated like putting a list of names together, and we would be here for hours if I said all the names, and I was also a little bit worried about forgetting anybody. But they all know who they are. It was just, everything was just a huge, huge team effort. The other thing I think it's important to note is that none of these things could have happened without support from public defender leadership. And one of the things that we're really excited about, very fortunate about at the Public Defender's Office, I talk like I'm still there, I will always be a public defender, is that we have been fortunate to have people in leadership who are very supportive of equity work. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Like our mission is to represent our clients who sadly often face a lot of inequities in the criminal legal system. So that makes sense. But we're also committed as an agency to equity and inclusion among the staff as well. So we've been very lucky in terms of having supportive leadership, including Jennifer Weiss, who is here. She's our new state public defender. Jennifer and I actually have done a lot of these things together over the last 30 years. So it's like very perfect that she's here standing on stage with me. So I also would like, and hopefully I don't start crying right now, but I would like to dedicate this award to my friend and colleague, Rick Jones. I know a lot of people in this room know Rick. Rick very unexpectedly passed away on November 16th, just a few short weeks ago, and we're all still reeling from his death. And Rick really embodied the principles of equity and inclusion, and in particular, his role at the Public Defender's Office during the later part of his career was, he was the Racial Disparities Practice Coordinator. And so his job was to provide support to attorneys all around the state to challenge racial inequities faced by our clients. But also, the thing that I think I'm going to miss most about Rick is that he, no matter where he went, he had this amazing gift of making people feel like they belonged and that they were seen and they were heard and they were valued. And he really went out of his way to make people feel included. And I think that's what DEI work is all about, is ensuring that people feel seen, people feel heard, people feel valued. It's about creating spaces and maintaining spaces that allow people to come in as their true, authentic selves, so that they can share their ideas, their thoughts, their talents, their skills. And we've heard all morning about the value in that. So I know you all get it. So DEI work is never done. As you know, this is ongoing, it's never finished. And I just want to say I'm really proud to be one of many, many, many people who's engaged in this work. And again, I just want to thank you very much. Thank you.
Please welcome the Director of the Bureau of Equity and Inclusion, Larice Lincoln, to introduce the SCAA Diversity Award.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Wisconsin. And to our esteemed award winners and government leaders, dedicated state employees, families, and friends, thank you so much for celebrating this wonderful day with us today. Before I get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize a few special people, not by name, but as a group. I want to recognize the staff in the Bureau of Equity and Inclusion. The Bureau of Equity and Inclusion is a small but mighty staff that support the enterprise. They support them on a day-to-day basis with helping them to achieve their equity and inclusion values, desires, inspirations, all of the things that they have to do that they want to do to accomplish as it relates to being an equitable and inclusive workforce and work environment. And I just wanted to say that that team is awesome, and they're also responsible for the experience that you're having today. So please help me thank them. All right. It is an honor to celebrate the trailblazers among us today, people who have worked tirelessly to champion diversity, equity, and inclusion in our state government. Your efforts remind us of the transformative potential of an inclusive workplace and the critical role of leadership in creating meaningful change. James Baldwin once said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." This sentiment speaks to the foundation of our work in creating an equitable and inclusive workplace. Leading change in this realm requires more than good intentions. It requires courage, commitment, and clear direction. Shireen Daniels, in her book, Anti-Racist Organization, talks about and emphasizes that genuine change involves looking unflinchingly at the realities of inequity and taking deliberate steps to address them. It is not enough to aim for fairness. We must actively seek to dismantle barriers and create spaces where everyone can thrive. But how do we achieve this? That's the biggest question, and that's the question that we continue to ask ourselves and work at. Noted author John C. Maxwell reminds us that one of the important things is the law of influence. The law of influence is a guiding principle in driving change. True leadership isn't about authority. It is about influence, trust, and a shared vision. To foster an inclusive workplace, leaders must trust by creating environments where everyone feels valued, respected, and heard. When people believe in the direction and values of their leaders, they become empowered to contribute, innovate, and drive the organization forward. Organizational consultant Warren Bennett said, "Effective leaders instill direction, trust, and hope, qualities that inspire everyone to work towards a brighter and more inclusive future." In his book, Leading Change, John Connor speaks to the necessity of creating a sense of urgency and establishing a coalition of support. It is through collective effort, through teams like yours, that we begin to make tangible strides. Building an equitable workplace requires a shared commitment and the courage to challenge old norms. We can achieve lasting change by fostering a culture that prioritizes diversity in recruitment, building pathways for growth, and creating safe spaces for dialogue and understanding. To do this work well, we must embrace racial and social consciousness, recognize the unique experiences and backgrounds that each person brings. When we see these differences not as obstacles, but as strengths, we unlock the full potential of our teams. An inclusive workplace is one where innovation thrives, where employees are encouraged to share diverse perspectives, and where everyone is motivated to contribute their best. Let us remember that change isn't easy, nor is it instant. But the journey towards a fair, respectful, and innovative workplace is a shared responsibility. Each of us has a role in making this vision a reality, whether through daily acts of allyship, strategic decisions, or creating policies that reflect our commitment to equity and justice. As we celebrate today's award winners, let us all be inspired to lead with the same courage, resilience, and dedication to creating workplaces that reflect the world we want to live in. I'll leave you with a quote from Venice. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Together, we have the power to realize that vision of a respectful, fair, and innovative workplace for all is possible. Thank you. Congratulations again to all of the remarkable leaders here today. Let us continue this work with hope, commitment, and unwavering optimism for what we can achieve together. Thank you. In 2000, the State Council on Affirmative Action established the Diversity Awards with a profound purpose: to recognize and commend the remarkable achievements of affirmative action and equal employment opportunity practices within our state agencies, Wisconsin Technical Colleges and UW campuses. This award highlights the dedication and commitment of organizations and individuals who have tirelessly worked towards fostering a more inclusive and diverse workforce in our great state. It is my honor and my pleasure to announce this year's Diversity Award winner is the Department of Public Instruction. Under the leadership of State Superintendent Dr. Gerald Utterly, Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to equity and inclusion in education. Driven by values like honor, integrity, and belonging, DPI strives to create a workforce that reflects the state's diversity while addressing systemic disparities in educational outcomes. Through its 2024-2026 Equity and Inclusion Plan, DPI has implemented innovative recruitment, retention, and cultural initiatives that foster an inclusive, supportive environment, making it deserving of the 2024 Diversity Award. Please welcome the Department of Public Instruction to the stage.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. You guys are all warmed up. Get my notes. Thank you so much, Larice McInnes Lincoln, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you for everything that you do, truly. And to Larice for advancing equity and inclusion and belonging in the state of Wisconsin. I too want to acknowledge and congratulate all the other awardees. Thank you for your passion and the work that you do every day and for making a real difference in our state. It's an honor to accept the 2024 SCAA Diversity Award on behalf of the Department of Public Instruction. This recognition is a testament to the dedicated efforts that the team at DPI who built and continue to implement our equity and inclusion plan with passion and purpose. Their commitment to fostering an inclusive environment for all is inspiring and deeply impactful. I want to thank all the team members who are here today, and please help me lift up our Human Resources Director, Ashley Showers, and our Executive Director for Equity and Inclusion, Dimitri Bateman. Thank you all. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Governor Evers for his unwavering support and leadership in advancing equity across our state. His vision and encouragement have been instrumental in guiding our work and making progress toward a more just and inclusive future. This award is a reflection of collective effort and shared dedication, and I'm grateful to all who have contributed to this journey. I want to share a story that emphasizes the significance of embracing diversity and acceptance. In a small town not too far away, a close friend knew she was gay from the time she was in middle school, from the time we were in middle school. She was afraid not to just tell me. She was also afraid to tell her parents because she was afraid of what her parents would say. In high school, she finally told her mom and her dad and her younger brother, who was in 8th grade. And her parents were furious. They said it went against everything they believed in, everything they hoped for her. And when she started to cry, her dad said to her, "I want you to give us your key." And she said, "My key? My key to the car?" And her mom chimed in. She said, "No, the key to our house." He kicked her out of their home. Excuse me. She found a place on another friend's couch where the other parents were happy to let her stay. She cried herself to sleep every night. And when I saw her at school, she looked tired and worried. And she said she missed her dog, she missed her bed, she missed her brother. She missed her room. But what this story teaches us is the critical lesson that inclusion begins at home. And our families play a pivotal role in fostering an environment of love and acceptance for everyone and of their identity. But what about our schools? What about our teachers? There's so many kids who cannot be themselves at home. And so they see school as that safe place of belonging, and they long to confide in their teachers and to school staff, just so they can be themselves and not pretend to be something that they're not. 6 in 10 kids are telling us that their mental and emotional health isn't where it needs to be, and those numbers are even higher for LGBTQ kids and the kids of color. So kids can't learn and teachers can't teach if they don't feel as they belong and if their basic needs aren't met. In our agency, we keep these kids in our hearts and at the top of our minds every single day. We aren't afraid of the politics, and we will support diversity. We will support equity. We will support inclusion, and we will support belonging for our employees, for our teachers across the state, and for every single child. So thank you again for this incredible award. Let's keep working for a just world. Thank you.
To introduce our guest speaker, please welcome SCAA Council Member and Executive Director of the Milwaukee County Department of Health and Human Services, Shakita LeGrand.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I don't know about you, but my cup is overflowing today. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce a powerhouse in leadership development, personal growth, and organizational impact. Desiree Cocroft is an award-winning author, speaker, and leadership coach with over 2 decades of experience empowering leaders and organizations to thrive and achieve meaningful results. Desiree has trained thousands of professionals annually as a consultant with Franklin Covey, where she brings transformative insights on trust, leadership, and goal achievement. Her expertise has been spotlighted on TEDx and featured in Forbes, making her a sought-after voice on stages around the globe. Known for her results-driven approach, Desiree helps leaders align their actions with their core values, overcome limiting beliefs, and cultivate sustainable success. She has worked with diverse organizations, including Johnson Controls and Marquette University, delivering dynamic workshops and coaching that inspires transformation. Desiree's philosophy is simple, yet profound. Self-mastery is the key to unlocking both professional success and personal fulfillment. Today, she is here to share her wisdom and guide us on a journey of growth, resilience, and impactful leadership. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Desiree Cockcroft.
Can I just carry you in my pocket everywhere I go? What a confidence booster. Good morning. Yes, I love to hear the energy. So I heard that this is the year of the worker and that the theme is moving forward together. Am I in the right room? Okay, I was just checking just in case I needed to move somewhere else. So you are in luck, because this is the year of the worker and that moving forward together is the theme. I have a public service announcement for you. Don't you love those? I have a public service announcement, and so I need you to get your notes app out. If you have a pen and paper, you can look at me funny, but go ahead and elbow the person next to you. If you need to write something down, open up your notes app, because this is a serious matter. Because if you want to move forward together, you're going to need to know this public service announcement. I have no visuals, so you're going to actually have to listen to what I say, and I'm only going to say it one time. Everybody say one time. You got one shot to get this. All right, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? All right, so here it is. You don't get to desire something different and be the same person. I want to let that sink in for a little bit, because many times we want different things. We want change. We want more equity. We want inclusion. We want more belonging. We want better positions. We want more camaraderie. We want more trust. But we don't want to change. And many of you, even in this last year, have discovered that you needed to make some shifts. I'm sure all those that were honored today, and even those that weren't, you had to make some shifts to see something different happen. You had to shed an old habit. You had to create some new ones to see some new change happening. And I'm sure many of us can relate to that you need to change something to get different results. I mean, if you've ever changed your diet or decided to work out again and again, then you know that change requires discomfort. It requires us to do something out of the norm. You know, this year I decided that I was going to be a plant-based vegan. Anybody out here? Y'all with me? No? Okay, great. So I decided that I was going to be a plant-based vegan. So I was a little bit on the struggle bus. In the beginning, I was about 60% in, then I was about 75% in, and then I would tell people, hey, I'm 90% plant-based vegan when I would go places. And then at some point, it became a routine. And when it became a routine, I started feeling the results. Y'all want to hear my results? Yeah, oh, great. I love this audience. I like results. So I started to feel more energized. I had been told I had high blood pressure. I no longer had it. Those were huge results for me. And so once I started getting the results and I was liking it, it happened. The thing that happens to us after we have made some changes and found the results, we realize, oh, if I want to keep these results, I actually got to keep doing this. And so when it comes to real change, sometimes we get to this fork in the road. And that fork in the road is the place of decision. We get to decide, do we desire this to keep happening? Do we really believe in this? Is this what we actually want? And the simple answer is, if we want to continue to see change happen, then we get to create a new normal. What was normal to us before can't be normal now if we want to see something different. And so I ask you today, how willing are you to stretch yourself? Stretch yourself to be uncomfortable. Because the truth is, you cannot build something transformative with shallow foundations. Let me share another story. So I had to speak somewhere about a year or so ago, and the stage was shaky. And I don't know if you've ever had to speak anywhere with a shaky stage, but it is uncomfortable. I had heels on, and I'm a walker. If the mic wasn't here, I would be walking around. I'm a walker, and so my heel got caught in the crevices of the stage, and I had to act like nothing was happening and just rocking back and forth, talking nervously because I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to stop talking because I was timed in that instance. And so with that being said, I was extremely nervous. And then once I kind of shook my heel out of the crevice and was able to start walking again, I was being super careful because it was so uneven. And it was an hour talk. So with that being said, a lot of times when we don't feel like our foundation is safe, we are hesitant, we're uncomfortable. We don't feel like we're in a very safe place. Like the level of trust between the stage and the speaker or between the leader and the team feels fleeting. Humans are intuitive. We really know when someone is fully invested in a thing. We know when they're not all in. We can sense it. And so if we desire to have everyone come together moving forward, we have to be authentic. On the flip side, research shows that employees in high trust organizations have some really great stats. You want to hear these stats? They excited me. So one of the stats is 74% of them feel less stressed. I mean, where is it at? Can I sign up, right? I feel less stressed. 106% have more energy. I mean, can we bottle that up, right? And 50% of them felt like they were more productive than people in low trust environments. And so it's something about when we want to create change and we want it to be sustained, how trust is at the center of it. And it's how we are trustworthy. Where's that self-trust? So if we want real change, the kind that lasts and produces results, it requires depth. It requires intentionality. And it requires us to be committed for the long game. So there's this quote that says, attitude follows leadership. You've probably seen it somewhere. I have no idea who said it. That's okay. I'm okay with that. As leaders, how can we cultivate attitudes that compel trust, that makes people want to step confidently on the stage with us? And this is a great place to pause because a lot of times we don't actually celebrate what we have achieved. And in celebrating you all today and celebrating what progress you have made, that can inspire us to continue to do the work. So we have to remember how far we've come because it's going to drive us. And at the same time, I'm here to challenge you. Challenge you because there's something about leading an effort and it leaving with you. We can't let our efforts leave with us. How do we help everyone else move forward with us so that the ideas don't die with us? And so the question is sustainability. How do we sustain the change that we have created? And how does it live beyond us? So I use a 4-part framework when I think about change, and I call it MSRP. And it's modeling, safety, relationships, and practice. And so I have a couple of questions that I usually ask clients about themselves, to ask themselves about these areas, to just give themselves an idea of where they feel like they land. And so I'm going to ask you to ask yourself these questions too, to see where you land in each of these areas. So when I talk about modeling, the question is, how are you showing up as a leader? Are you open to feedback? Do you give feedback in real time? Not delayed, in real time. And are you checking your bias? Are you checking your motives? Are you checking your intent? How are we modeling in a way that's going to convey the culture that we want to have? How are we creating safety? Ask yourself, what systems are in place to create a safe space for my team, for my colleagues? Can they come to me authentically, knowing their concerns will be heard and addressed without fear? I don't know about you, but I love to imagine working in places where you don't have to walk on eggshells, where you don't feel like the air is thick, there's an elephant in the room. That's happened nowhere in any of our lives, right? But there's something to be said about the difference between that space and a space that we've been in where the environment wasn't like that. You knew you could say what needed to be said and that you would be heard and you wouldn't be tolerated. We can't make people change, and who wants to do that anyway? We'd rather people willingly desire to change. But what we can do is create an environment that they can thrive in. The next area is relationships. How well do you know your team? How well do you know your colleagues? And how well do they know each other? Are they open and honest when offering suggestions and solutions freely? And can we just throw a little joy in there? Isn't it more fun to work with people in a joyful environment? Not the fake joy, but the real joy when you're actually connecting with people. When you connect with people in an authentic way, you're more likely to respect them and you're more likely to honor their thoughts and feelings. And practice. So practice is the last one, and practice is really about what is our system to make sure that we are behaving in ways that compel trust, compel equity, compel inclusion. What behaviors are you practicing daily, both conscious and unconsciously? Have we been able to see what unconscious bias we have and been able to actually pinpoint, okay, you know what, I need to change this about what I'm doing because I didn't even know I was doing that? Are your team's collective practices, are they building or are they tearing down, building a culture of trust? So those are the 4 areas, but I want to be clear that this is not your opportunity to look at it as this checklist, like, okay, I got that, yep, oh, okay, I'm done this year. This is about, okay, what areas do I do really well? What do we do really well? And let's continue to improve on those things. And then we get to think about, well, what are the areas that I don't do at all? And what could I get better at? And that is the work that we get to do in the upcoming year to move forward together. And those areas that we need improvement on require us to ask questions that all have the word willing. Are you willing to model the change you want to see? Are you willing to challenge your bias? Are you willing to expand the way you communicate? Are you willing to slow down and truly understand others? Are you willing to let go of your ego, admit you don't know everything, and embrace ongoing learning? True transformation happens when you move beyond this checklist that we got this, we got this, we got this, into intentional, lasting practices. Trust doesn't happen overnight. A great community doesn't happen overnight. We know this. All because we want it doesn't mean it's going to happen in 24/7, right? My parents just celebrated their 50th year wedding anniversary. Y'all can clap for that because I think it's important. Yeah. 50 years. I'm like, I don't know what y'all did, right? How did y'all do this, right? It's so amazing to watch them both like and love each other because, you know, it's great to have both. But I think you all know that it wasn't a walk in the park. And it wasn't something that happened overnight. And I know if the walls could talk, they would talk. But think about any lasting relationship, whether it was a professional relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship. Trust isn't built on words alone, it's built on action, intentional action with consistent feedback so that we can see something change. The strongest teams thrive because their leaders do the hard work. They demonstrate authenticity, a willingness to have hard conversations, and an openness to ideas that may feel uncomfortable but ultimately make everyone better. So after saying everything I just said, I have a challenge for you. So say challenge. Oh, you can do better than that. Say challenge. Yes, challenge. Your challenge is to go beyond whatever that checklist is in your mind. What is that checklist? And okay, I did this, I did that, I did this, right? And go beyond the appearance of progress. Create something that lasts and something that starts with you. Let me also leave you with this final thought that sustainability isn't about what you've accomplished in the past year. It's about how you build on it for the years to come and how it sustains when you are no longer there. Your efforts today will be that ripple effect that's needed to see the theme of this year, moving forward together. I'm so excited about the work that you've done, and I'm even more excited about what's next, and I appreciate that you allowed me to be a part of this moment with you. Thank you so much.
Wow, challenge! I am ready and I am inspired. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for those words. It is my pleasure now to introduce back to the podium the DP and Administrator, Jen Fogel, with some closing remarks.
Today has been such a fantastic celebration of the Year of the Worker, moving forward together, and thank you again. I want to share my personal congratulations with all of today's winners. You are role models for your colleagues, for all of us here in person and watching on the live stream today, and for everyone across our great state by demonstrating tangible progress and impact in our work to improve equity and inclusion across our workplaces and our communities. Thank you again to the Governor, First Lady, speakers Javier Acevedo Baez, Desiree Cocroft, Secretary Blumenfeld, the Bureau of Equity and Inclusion, the State Council on Affirmative Action, and all of our presenters for making today's event so special. And thank you to all of the wonderful state employees who are committed to the advancement of this very important work. So winners, if you could please join us for additional photos up front. And for everyone else, I want to invite you all to our reception. It's in the parlor right behind us, and there are snacks there for folks to enjoy. So with this invitation behind us, the 2024 Diversity Awards are concluded. And have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Thank you again and congratulations.